Hey fiber friends, welcome to the For Knit's Sakes channel. My name is Allison. I am coming to you from El Paso, Texas, where I live with my husband Jonathan, my two sons Levi and Oliver, and our Boston Terrier Lucy. Today is Wednesday, November the 7th, the day after Election Day. And if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me out. This is my little corner of the internet where I chat about mainly knitting and a little bit of crochet, cross stitch, and sewing every once in a while. I don't do many other crafts, but I think that's plenty to keep me busy. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate every single one of you that come back and check me out, even though there's not a whole lot of us on the For Knit's Sakes channel these days, but it's okay. I love each and every one of you that comes and sits and chats with me, listens to me. Today's gonna be a little more chatty than usual. I'm feeling chipper, I guess, and I'll always try to keep it short and we'll see how it goes. If you want to find me on social media, you can find me under For Knit's Sakes on Ravelry and Instagram, and you're more than welcome to send me any private messages if you have any questions about the podcast. We also have a podcast group on Ravelry. You can either click the link in the description box below, or you can search for Knit's Sakes Podcast in the groups tab on Ravelry. Another very small group, but I always put my show notes and links to my project pages in the threads on that project page, and any information about knit-alongs can be found there. And we are going to do a very short, fairly informal knit-along, and it is going to be the For Knit's Sakes Gift Miss knit-along for 2018. So if you are making any gift knits, anything that is already in progress, so works in progress are allowed, can be submitted into the knit-along. It's not going to be a huge prize, but I'll let the winner via random number generator on the finished object thread choose a pattern of their liking that's $8 or less. I can swing that in the holiday season to help out my fans that come and watch out and participate. So I know with me, I've been keeping track of all my gift knits that I've done this year, and I've done a lot compared to, I guess, what I've done in the past. I did my totals. I'm doing 2 blankets, the temperature blankets for my sons, and then I have a pair of socks for my sister, a pair of socks for my dad, which I have already sent to him. I showed those last time. It was like a mystery Regia opal orangey brown color. You can check out the last episode or go to my projects page, and it's very noticeable of which socks I'm talking about. And then I have 2 pairs of tube socks for my nieces that I need to send out. They are packaged up and ready to go. And then a shawl for my mom. So I've done a lot of gift knitting, and I saw a meme, a gif, a picture that was shared in the knitting community where it says, like, in June, you're just like, I'm gonna make special gifts for everybody in my life and everybody that I love. And like come November, it's like, I love 2 people. I know with me, I got ready with my gift knitting, I think in August, and luckily a lot of those projects were very short and sweet and easy to do, like socks. I can kind of bang those out pretty quickly. And so if you have any gift knitting that you are doing, feel free to submit it into the knit along. I will get a chatter thread going as well as a finished objects thread, and we will let that go until January the 1st, because I know not all of us get our knitting done on Christmas or by Christmas to get to our friends and family. So I will give you until January the 1st to get your finished objects in the thread, and as usual, just chatter along in the chatter thread. If you have anything that you want to talk about or share your works in progress, go for it. Okay, I promised I would keep this short. So our writing prompt for today is, who was your favorite band or singer when you were young? And I'm going to go with high school young, because I mean high school was still 14, 15 years ago for me. And I'm going to go with one of my hometown bands. They have disbanded since in like the last 5 years or so, but they did come back and make one single that is available on iTunes, and the band is called May. It's spelled M-A-E. They have 6 CDs out, and I've been listening to them since I was in high school. I had a friend named Stephanie introduce them to me when I was in high school, and my aux jack does not work in my car, so I have to use CDs in order to listen to music, and the radio stations here in El Paso kind of like leave something to be desired. I'm not big into like the current music scene. I feel old saying that, but I'm only 32. So all of the CDs in my CD, and I have a 6 CD changer in my car, and every single one of them is a May CD right now. So all the way from Embers and Envelopes all the way to Evening, they have 6 CDs. If you would like check them out, you can find videos of their music on YouTube. They're also available on iTunes and everything like that. So good music. I've been to a couple of their concerts growing up, and I still listen to them all the time. And I haven't wanted to change those CDs out in quite a while. So I would consider them probably one of my favorite bands. But current favorite band is probably Queen. I really enjoy asking our Echo to shuffle songs by Queen, and my kids actually like listening to it. So it's a win-win. I don't have to listen to kids bop or kids music. I listen to a fair amount of that on a regular basis. So I force them to listen to some adult music every once in a while, like Beatles and Queen and stuff. So put in the, not description box, the comments below about what your favorite band or singer or songwriters were when you were growing up. I know we have a diverse set of people here all from all around the world, and I'm kind of interested to know what you guys like to listen to. Expand my musical horizons, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. I have quite a few finished objects to share because it has been about 3 weeks since I've seen you guys, and I'm going to start with my Ease sweater. I had this yarn ripped out from a Skaha sweater by Marsha. She is Fairy Little on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure she's Fairy Little on Ravelry as well. But I had ripped the sweater out because I wasn't enjoying how the neckline was fitting. The fabric was kind of stiff. And so I ripped out this yarn earlier this year, and I pulled this pattern out of my bingo bowl to knit, and my friend Melanie had gifted me the pattern. This is the Ease sweater by Alicia Plummer, and it is finished. Sorry that one light over there is kind of giving me a weird halo effect over here. I also forgot to mention that my computer officially went kaput, so I had to switch to using my front camera on my phone, so I realized my video quality is down a little bit, but I hope that doesn't matter because my knitting is still the same. We'll see. Okay, so the Ease is a pullover sweater with this really wide neckline here, and also excuse any outside noises. It's trash day and people are getting their trash cans out to the curbs, and my windows are open because it's supposed to be 78 today in El Paso. It did not get the memo that it's November. Okay. Ease pullover by Alicia Plummer, top-down seamless raglan sweater with a very wide neckline that you add this turtleneck. It's not really a turtleneck because it's not tight-fitting. And you do this little fold-over seam here and add this little pull string, kind of like you would for a hoodie sweatshirt. And so I knit this out of Patton's wool worsted. You can get this at Joann or Michael's as well as online. And this is in the Jade Heather colorway, and I knit this on a US 8 instead of the US 10. If I had done this on a 10, this would be very, very gapey, and I think I knit the 39 inch. I think the gauge for this pattern is a little bit off because I got a looser gauge on an 8 than the pattern called for, so I think Alicia Plummer is a tight knitter compared to especially what I'm doing. So the 8 worked out perfectly. I have just enough positive ease for it to be like a very comfy sweatshirt, and the larger needle than my Skaha sweater has created a really nice drape, and it's very comfy. The neckline is a little bit more open than what I would like, but I also like that it's not super tight because Patton's wool worsted is kind of a more rustic yarn, and it's nice to not have it so close to my neck that I feel like I'm scratching all the time, especially because I don't have any hair to cover up my skin on my neck. It works out nice. I will probably knit another one of these, maybe out of some more Patton's or some wool of the Andes, but I know what my gauge is for Patton's, and I know that I like the size, so I really like the coral color that Patton's has, and so, but Joann is the only place that I can find that color, and they don't run sales as much as Michael's or Craftsy does, so we'll see. But there is some waist shaping for this sweater. You can kind of see here, it comes in just a little bit and then back out, and then you decrease before you do the ribbing at the bottom, so it kind of pulls in that ribbing, which is really nice. I can't say enough great things about this sweater. I've made the kids version, the abate, for my children, and I'll probably make some more for them for Christmas, adding to my gift knits. And then I've made the bulky weight version for when I bought a whole bunch of Araucania yarn on a D-stash last year. And I might even buy the fingering weight version just to have it. Or I'll try to figure out how to adjust the worsted weight pattern, because I'm smart. I know math. I can figure those things out. I can figure out the gauge and the numbers that I need for a size that would work for me. I don't know. But it's a very well written pattern all around for all the sizes and all the weights, so it's definitely worth the dollars, and it's a very wearable sweater. You can also choose not to do the turtleneck part, and you can just have a really wide neckline, but mine was very wide to the point like it was gonna fall off my shoulders. So I kind of had to do the neckline or it wouldn't have stayed on my body. So, okay. The next finished object is one of my children's temperature blankets. I chugged along and I did like 15 rows, 20 rows a day until I finished Levi's blanket, and his is officially finished. I've woven in the ends for any that were in the middle of the blanket, and I tied off all of the ends on the sides of the blanket to make fringe. And it's a little bit smaller than I expected it to be. It does stretch out because I had such a loose gauge. I did 150 stitches on a US 9 using a bunch of yarns that you can get from Michaels. So I did a mixture of Caron Simply Soft, Red Heart Soft, and Loops and Threads Shiny and Soft, or Soft and Shiny. You would think I would have looked that up for this episode, but I did not. I'm sorry. So it is finished. It has a lot of ends, as you can see. So I sat during a movie and I just sat and I tied knots all the way up one side and all the way down the other. But let's see, the green, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, this was the start of the blanket. So this was when Levi was born, April 13th. And then I think, what's the best way to show this? We'll figure it out. So all the way up, it was a very hot summer. All the way through here. So I like it. For me, I'm 5'6". I can, let's see, if I cover up my toes, I can bring it all the way up here. Obviously my kids are not 5'6", so it fits them perfectly. And it's about wide enough to cover this chair that I'm sitting on, so maybe just big enough to put right on the top of a twin size bed, which is what I was going for. I didn't want these huge cumbersome blankets. I wanted them to be able to use them, you know, while they're sitting watching a movie, because, you know, they can't share, obviously. Kids that are, well, Levi's gonna be 8 and then Oliver turns 5 in a few weeks. And they don't know how to share, so having their own blankets is going to be great. So, but Levi's is done. And as soon as Oliver saw that Levi's was done, he's like, is mine done? Mom, have you worked on my blanket yet? Have you done my blanket yet? So now I'm trying to get his done as fast as I can. I have about 4 months left. I think 122 rows left, because I count how many I've done every day to give myself a goal, like a countdown. So I'll show his when I'm doing my works in progress. But Levi's is finished. I'm very happy. It's a nice, easy, mindless knit, because I'm just knitting every single row. The hard part is just getting the color changes, switching out the colors, snipping yarn when I need to, figuring out if I have to carry the yarn up the side, if it's gonna come back. And I talked about that last time. I'm trying to reduce the amount of ends that I have, so if the color comes back in an even number of rows, less than 6, then I carry that yarn up the side so I don't have another end to have to tie off. I told you I'd be very chatty today. I hope that's okay. So that's another gift knit that's done. Everything that's on my needles right now is for other people. Not one project right now is for me. So I'm trying to get all these gift knits done so then I can pick something out and knit something for myself. And the next thing that is done is my mom's Pure Joy shawl. And I think I bound off a little too tightly, because if I hold the ends, the bottom curls, like flips up, like because if I'm trying to hold the top straight, then the bottom isn't straight. If I try to hold the bottom straight, then the top isn't straight. This is my third Pure Joy that I've knit. She wanted a scarf, and I didn't want to knit a scarf. I wanted to knit something that was skinny like a scarf, but wasn't a scarf. So I decided the Pure Joy would fit that. I still got this bump, like when I did my cast on, when I was knitting, this was straight. But I think after doing everything, I'm still getting this bump here. So, Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli. Let me be a little bit more specific. It is a 2-color shawl that is incorporated in garter stitch. It incorporates garter stitch and short rows to make these wedges. So you always end up coming back to this point here, and then you knit all of this. This is a marathon knit by the time you get to this last wedge, because you have to do like 30 plus repeats of just going back and forth, and by the time you're done, it's like almost 400 stitches on your needles. So, but I think it fits the bill because she can wear it like a scarf, like this, or if she wants to do like the loop method where you have the loop on one side and you put the ends on the other, she can still wear it like this, or she can still just wear it like a shawl. So I hope she likes it. This was yarn I had left over from my pavement sweater that I made earlier this year. This is Blue Violet in the Stroll Tonal by Knit Picks, and then this cream color is actually Premier Serenity Sock, like the Deborah Norville line at Joann, just in the antique white, off-white. There's only one of it, but it's a bamboo, merino, nylon, something else blend that you can get at Joann. It is, I think, $7 a ball, and it's only a 50-gram ball. So, but if you use a 40% off coupon, which you can always get on your phone, you can at least get one ball for 40% off. It did take me 2 balls to do the white color, but just barely. I think I just started using the second ball on one of the last couple repeats, and I was able to do the purple on with just one skein of the Knit Pick Stroll, and I still had a chunk left. I did go down in needle size. I think it calls for a 6 and I did a 5, so that was my only thing, but I did that with my last Pure Joy that I did. I might have gotten a little bit more drape if I had used a 6, but it's done. It was a lot of knitting. I did a lot of it while we were catching up on the show New Amsterdam. My husband and I decided to, we were caught up on all of our other shows, so we were trying to find other things to watch, so we started picking up that, and we really like that show so far too. So if you haven't watched New Amsterdam, it's a good show to watch. Good fall lineup of TV that we always try to keep up with. So that I had one other finished object, but it's already packaged up, ready to go to the person that I made it for. I made a barley slouchy hat for a friend of mine's sister. She lives in Tennessee, and she messaged me because I have made some things for my friend Carrie, and her sister wanted some things. She asked for a slouchy gray hat, and so I made, I'll put in a picture. It's really hard to take a picture of yourself wearing a hat, so the angles are a little funny, but I used the Lion Brand jeans yarn. It's like a DK worsted. It says it's worsted, but I feel like it's a slightly light worsted. 100% acrylic yarn, and I used the numbers from the Barley hat by Tin Can Knits to make a slouchy hat. I did not do the garter panel that's on it, so I just did plain stockinette like you would for a sockhead hat, and I just knit so it would be a little bit slouchier. I'll pop in a picture and you guys can see what I'm talking about, but a very plain and simple, fast knit, especially when it's on a heavier weight like that. Okay, works in progress. I will do these small ones first because I have 2 socks on the needles and 1 blanket, which I've already talked about. My socks are for other people, and so my first sock, this is actually kind of a hoe because I've already finished 1 minus the heel, and it's my Regia socks that Jonathan has requested. So this is some yarn that I had like 50 grams left over. I had made some socks for Oliver. I put all of these stitch markers so I can count every 10 rows, so I'm not having to start all the way at the beginning. This is my marker right here for my heel because I haven't put that in yet. I did have a break in the yarn, so I had a repeat of this color right here instead of going through this to get back to this. but John's not gonna care. And this was some yarn that somebody had given me. It's like it was some Regia leftovers that I used for the toes and the cuff, and I think I have just enough to do the heels. So just a plain 64 stitch sock using a 3x1 rib. This was my knitting last night while watching the election results. Pretty much as soon as they called Texas, we stopped watching, and they called Texas fairly early in the night. And then we started watching something else. So we turned off the election stuff and figured we could look it up in the morning. So 3x1 rib, Regia yarn. Sorry for all the markers in the way. I put all my markers so I know how many that I have before I get to my cuff. Just makes it easy. It does make a decent amount of sound. And I'm knitting these on US zeros. These are 32-inch Haya sharp circulars. I still do not enjoy the cord, but the shorter cord is a lot easier to manage than the 40-inch cord. Doesn't bother me enough to switch out the needles. And my other sock work in progress is my sister's sock. I sent her a picture of a whole bunch of yarns that I had in my stash, and I said, pick what you want for your socks and I'll get started on them. And she decided to pick this Ice Yarns skein that a viewer had sent me, Squirrel21, Amy. She sent me a bunch of yarns from New Zealand, and this was one of them. Now, this particular colorway has a super long color repeat. I'm doing these on 9-inch circs, and after I've done a couple of socks with them, I don't hate 9-inch circs anymore. I actually find that I knit fairly quickly. I don't have to adjust cords and pull magic loop. I don't have to worry about losing needles. The only thing is I always have to remember to push my stitches like way far down on these so they don't fall off. These are Chiaogu 9-inch circs. I haven't tried any other 9-inch brands, but I do like these because the cord is pretty malleable and the needle tips are fairly long. From what I've done my research on, I think the Hayas are slightly shorter. And I don't know any other brands that do 9-inch circs. So this color repeat, look, I started with orange down here. I didn't get to the next color repeat until up here. This is the orange that starts down here. So that is a very long color repeat. I knit the whole foot before I got to the first color again. So I think I'm gonna do one more color repeat because then I think that'll give me about the length that I would want for a sock, and then I could match the socks. My sister doesn't care about matching socks. I've sent stripy socks that don't match to her kids and she's never said anything, so I don't think it bothers her. But this is just a really wild sock. These stripes are really long. It's just so odd. But it's a joy to knit with. Ice yarns are fairly similar to Regia and Opal. This is my second or third sock I think I've knit with ice yarns. Third pair of socks I've knit with ice yarns. So, but it's so much fun. Again, life is too short for boring socks and sweaters, which is why I'm always trying to find fun colors. Sorry about all the dogs barking, but like I said before, it's gonna be 78 today, and I'm trying to not turn on my air conditioning. So I open up my windows first thing in the morning to try to bring down the AC, or bring down the temperature in the house, not the AC. Oh man. So these are my socks that I work on when I go to pick up Oliver from preschool. And it is in my Galaxy drawstring bag that I made myself. I found this super glittery, you can see the glitter. I found this fabric sitting in the remnants bin at Joann, and it was 50% off. I think I paid like $2 or $3 for half a yard, and I got 2 bags out of it. So these dogs are directly behind my house. I might have to close the window. I don't like to edit my podcast a whole lot. I like you guys to see who I am, but if dogs are barking incessantly, then I have to cut and edit things. I'm gonna have to close my windows. Hold on. Be right back. Okay. My windows are closed. The dogs are still barking. Hopefully you guys can't hear them. My last work in progress that I have to show you is Oliver's blanket. Now, the weird thing is I started Oliver's blanket before I started Levi's, but as soon as I started going on Levi's, I was like, I just want to finish one blanket and then only have one other one to worry about. So I stopped working on Oliver's and I finished Levi's. And now I'm working on finishing, and there goes a ball of yarn. I have done 8 months of Oliver's, so I still have 4 months left to go. He was born in November, the very end. He was almost a turkey. Well, some years he is a turkey baby because sometimes it does land on Thanksgiving, like last year. But he was born on the 23rd, and he turns 5 this year. I cannot believe that he turns 5. He's such a big kid now. He got a big kid haircut yesterday and everything. Like the cute little comb over, like needs to like put it in a little coif in the mornings. Of course he doesn't let us do it, so he has one cowlick that just kind of sticks up straight like this. We all have haircuts like that, right? So this is the beginning of the blanket. He, like I said, he was born in Germany, so his blanket is going to have a lot more cooler toned colors, so a lot of the blues and the greens and the yellows. In fact, I might run out of yellow. This is all I have left, and I have 30 something rows left of yellow left to do. But that's why I bought yarn that I could get at Michael's or Joann, and I can even get Karen Simply Soft at Walmart, because I didn't want to have to worry about ordering one skein of yarn if I ran out. Yes, I wanted to knit a wool blanket, but options for in stores for wool blanket that come in rainbow colors was very limited, and I didn't want to dye any of my own yarn, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Again, very chatty today. So he was born in November in Germany, so his blanket is very blue. We had a couple of very hot days the first summer he was born. And I think I am now just getting to the spring for him. So I'm lots of yellows, lots of greens, lots of blue, and I just have my big bucket of yarn that I have to carry with me. I think I'm gonna run out of blue too, because I think I have about 10 days left. It's gonna be cutting it close for the blue and the yellow, so I just might have to make a trip to Michael's or order something online. I have a goat head in my thing, or what do you guys call it? A spiky thing, like these little. I step on these. These get in our house all the time. This I will not miss about El Paso. Got one stuck in my finger. I still have the dot. You probably can't see it. That little teeny tiny dot right there on my finger. I had to dig a spike out of my finger because I pulled one off of my sock and it got stuck in my finger. One thing I won't miss. So I have 4 months left of this. I'm hoping to get it done by the end of November, and then I can hopefully start casting on some things for myself, get all my gift knits done, because I have a lot of things that I want to knit. A lot. My queue and my pattern bingo bowl is like 20 projects deep right now, and I want to get some things done, including I think like 4 sweaters. So I believe that is all my works in progress that I have right now. So I have done a lot of knitting over the last couple of weeks, a lot of very plain vanilla knitting. I'm sure that's kind of boring for you guys to see, but it's just what is best for me right now in life. So a lot of potato chip knitting. I'm hoping to get some more fun things done. I want to get some Christmas socks done for Christmas, obviously, for the holidays, and lots of sweaters. I do have some stash quisitions to show you. So I have been pretty terrible about buying yarn recently, and I shouldn't have bought yarn because I have plenty of it, but I think all of us can relate to having too much yarn but still buying a lot of it. So let's start with the first thing that I did. I ordered some fabric to make the boys' pajama pants for Christmas, and I do have it cut out. I haven't sewn them. When I sew them together, I will show you guys. I also ordered a sweaters quantity of Lion Brand Wool Ease. I know, it's acrylic. Don't hate me, but it is 20% wool. And I was planning on making Andrea Mowry's Weekender sweater or Joji Locatelli's boxy sweater. I haven't quite decided. The fit on both of them is very similar, very boxy, lots of positive ease. I was gonna knit mine with a little bit less positive ease and this a little bit longer because I'm not a cropped sweater kind of person. But I haven't quite decided. So I got it in this navy blue color. It's not as dark as I wanted it to be, but it's dark enough that I didn't want to have to return it. So it is a sweater color that I will wear. And I did originally want Patton's wool worsted, but it wasn't on sale. And at Joann, it's like $8 a ball. So even if I bought that, it would still cost me like 60 bucks for a sweater's quantity. So I'm waiting for that to go on sale or to get like a 25% off your total purchase sort of situation in order to order that. But nice big cozy sweater is planned for this. I just don't know which one. I haven't decided. I also don't know, like the boxy kind of look doesn't look great on me. Like waist definition does look better. So I could just kind of add in some decreases around the waist area on either of the sweaters because it's just knitting around and around and around. But I haven't decided. So this is going to be on hold until I decide that. I also did the yarn swap with my friend Lauren, who is Wool Pickle. I have mentioned her a lot on this podcast. Hi Lauren, thank you so much for watching. And we decided to split some sock blanks that both of us had because I never used the entire one. So she had a sock blank that she was going to trade with me. And then I also sent her a little bit of that sport weight. It was like 50 grams sport weight from the Cascade 150 prints that I made the socks for my nieces. So I sent her half of my Creative Obsession sock blank in the Wham Bam colorway, and she sent me this half. Hers was actually split. Like hers had waist yarn. I already ripped all of it out. Hers had waist yarn to split her sock blank in half already. So I got this really cool. It's got like they're not 4-leaf clovers because there's only 3. And this fun green. Like there's this bright lime green and off-white. I decided I was gonna do like a fun purpley blue mini. I got this from one of my friends when I bought some yarn that she was destashing. She sent me a couple minis to add to my blanket back here. And so I think, because this obviously the pattern's not going to come out, but I think that would be kind of like a fun contrast to this sock blank. And she also sent me a ball of Patton's Croy because this is always good and solid sock yarn. Her Michaels seems to have better choices than mine does. I only get like the same 3 colorways. Michaels never changes it up. So she sent me this Cascade Colors. I'll make socks with it, obviously. I just don't know when. But I like the colors in this because it's like the greens, the blues, the browns. It's very, very nice. And then, as I was on I was searching for some Patton's wool worsted in sweaters quantity just to see if anybody was maybe destashing or if anybody was having any sales. I came across Craftsy. I'm chatty, but my words aren't working well today, so sorry about that. Thanks for sticking around. Craftsy was having a huge sale on all of their yarn. And so I was able to get a sweaters quantity of Patton's for $22, and they were also having sales on all of their Patton's Croy. So I originally had picked 3 different colorways of Patton's Croy sock yarn, and I ordered 2 balls of each, but one, I guess, sold out before I put my order in, but it wasn't reflected on the website, so I got some money back from Craftsy, which is okay. I didn't need the yarn. It was for my dad if he wanted any more socks. But I wanted to pick up this tweedy, Aran tweed Patton. So it's a cream color, and then the tweed little nubbins are brown, light blue, and dark blue. I'm thinking of making a cardigan with this because I only have one cardigan, and it's that blue striped one that I wore on the last podcast. But I'm thinking of just doing another plain simple cardigan, but with a ribbed button band instead. I don't know if I'm gonna design it myself. Not design it, it would just be a plain stockinette one anyways. Or if I'm gonna maybe do like the harvest cardigan, but leave off the button band and do a ribbed button band instead of the garter. I don't know. I'll have to think about it, but I think I want a cardigan out of this instead of a pullover sweater. Gotta get ready for Alaska. And then the 2 sock yarns that I picked up were these. I got rainbow because I wanted some more rainbowy bright socks, and these are the Meadow Stripes colorway, and this is the Spring Leaf Stripes. So some grello going on here with a little bit of like a dark charcoal gray, almost black, and like this lime green. Levi says he likes these right here, and Oliver says he likes these. But whenever I make them socks, they never wear them. So I don't know. So that is all that I have gotten, and I have some yarn coming in because I have succumbed to the consumerism that is watching podcasts and then wanting to knit those things that the podcasters knit. And everybody's been knitting stripy socks. So I went on eBay. I started searching for Felici colorways and Desert Vista Dye Works, Invictus yarns, a couple of other things. I'm watching some stuff on eBay, but I was able to win a Desert Vista Dye Works auction. So I was able to get a skein of yarn for $15. That is showing up today. I'll pop it on my Instagram whenever I get it. And then Meg from Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits from the Bad Wolf Girl podcast and the yarn dyer. She put out a call to make some sample knitting, and so she is sending me some yarn to make a brioche bandana cowl, and I was able to choose a skein of yarn from her shop, so I picked out some glittery purple and blue yarn because those are the colors, obviously, that I like, and all the stuff underneath or behind me, above my head. So that's going to be coming in soon too, so I'm going to be busy making those things. And I have so much stuff I want to knit. I want to knit all day long, but I can't do it. And I need to get the gift knits done before Christmas, obviously. And I'm slowly chipping away at those items, and then I'll be able to cast on, some things for me. It's my coffee, I guess, which is cold because I had to run to Oliver's school to drop off his badge. Of all the days for me to forget his badge, he's supposed to wear it every single day. I forget it on the day he has a field trip. I felt terrible, but luckily I only live 5-minute drive from the school, so I ran there. They were just loading the buses, gave it to the teacher. He's good to go. I was worried that he wasn't going to be able to go on the field trip. Yeah, my coffee's cold. Okay, that is all of the knitting that I have for today. Sorry for the chattiness and for stumbling over my words, but I kind of do that every single time, so it's to be expected. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe, tell your friends. I would really like to get a little bit more exposure on YouTube. I don't want to be famous or anything, but my last video only got like 36 views, and I know like 1 or 2 of those were for me checking on something and adding to the viewing that way. I did get a little shout out from Happy Knits, who is Yolanda. She's outside of Texas. Thank you so much for shouting out to my podcast. I appreciate it. I don't meet a lot of knitters in Texas other than the ones that are in my knitting guild. So, oh, but there's some news there. I was asked to be the vice president for this next coming year. So that means I get to plan programs for my knitting guild. I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to do. So if you guys have any ideas of things that I can teach or present. I'm thinking of doing a dye workshop with food dyes because we did Kool-Aid dyeing, but I think I want to do some hand painting or something like that. I want to teach them how to brioche, whichever way you want to say it. I'm not exactly quite sure what else to do. We always kind of do a knit along, learn some new techniques. I taught them how to do magic loop this last year. So if you have any ideas of things that you would like to present to others or things that you would like to learn if you were part of a group of knitters, put it in the comments down below and let me know. So from now on, I think I'm just going to go into life stuff. Nothing's really been going on, just kind of getting ready to move and all that other stuff. So if you want to stick around, grab some coffee, grab your knitting or a glass of wine if it's at nighttime, or a beer, or bubbly water, whatever you're choosing to consume, maybe some ice cream, I don't know. I'll chat a little bit about life stuff, but I won't keep it very long because I know you guys have other things to do. And if you're leaving, then I'll see you next time, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, life stuff. Halloween happened. It was actually really cold on Halloween for El Paso. It was like mid-50s, but super duper windy. I sat in the back of the Prius to hand out our glow sticks. We don't hand out candy at our house because of Oliver. Plus, I don't really want to keep a whole lot of candy anyways. So I buy 300 glow sticks for the last 2 Halloweens. But I only had maybe like 50 people stop by the house. And I passed out 2 glow sticks per person, and I still have like 200 glow sticks. I have 1 full package that I haven't opened, and then a whole bunch that I had stuck in a coffee mug to have to hand out. So I'm guessing I'm going to be sending in glow sticks for when the boys have birthdays instead of sending in like cupcakes or graham crackers, or, you know, the schools don't, Oliver's school doesn't allow cupcakes for birthdays. You can bring in like fruit snacks, graham crackers, and stuff like that. They want to do like healthier treats. or for Levi's birthday in the spring. So I guess I'm going to be sending those in, or be like, here you go, have some glow sticks, because I don't think the packers will pack those. I have to start thinking about that. We have been pre-approved to go to Alaska by the EFMP office. It's the Exceptional Family Members Program. If you have somebody that has been diagnosed with something such as celiac disease or, neuro issues, asthma, you have to be enrolled in this program so that they have the doctors where you're going. They don't want to send you somewhere and then you don't have the specialist that you need for your condition. So it's smart. There's going to be some places where we're not going to be able to go because it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no large city close enough that would have those kinds of specialists. So it's for Oliver's safety that he's in this program. It is kind of a pain, especially if we're going. Alaska's considered an overseas unit, even though it's still connected to the United States because it's so far away. Alaska and Hawaii are considered overseas duty stations for the military. So we have been pre-approved. We do have one more hurdle for travel because you do have to list if you have anybody in your family that has any conditions for your travel reasons, because your travel is affected by if you have somebody in a wheelchair or anything like that, asthma conditions as usual. Ours is just food related, which I've already planned on packing half the kitchen for, like one frying pan or instant pot with an extra pot, measuring cups, cutting board, cutting like knives and stuff like that. So I've already planned on packing a box full of stuff so we can cook for Oliver while we're out, because we can't guarantee cross-contamination issues while we're traveling, and it takes 11 days minimum to travel from here to Alaska. And so we also have to start thinking about getting rid of things. We're going to be living in a smaller place when we move up there. We are going to be living on post because the rental market in Alaska is bananas. Like if you want something within your housing allowance, you have to live like 30 minutes from post. And if it's snowing from October through April, I don't want John to have to worry about that. Or if I'm working, I don't want to have to worry about that. So much stuff to think about. But we move every 2 to 3 years, so it's something that we have to, plan for. As soon as you recover from one move, you're having to move another time. And unfortunately here, we had to move houses in between, so that was like a hit to our bank account as well, to just move a mile down the road. And now we have to move, I don't even remember how many miles it is to get to Alaska. A lot. It's going to put a significant amount of mileage on our vehicle. That's all I'm saying. So, but that won't be happening until the summer. We are here for at least another 6 to 8 months. So, still just doing soccer with the boys. I am not employed, as you can tell from me doing my podcast in the middle of a weekday. I tried really hard. I auditioned. I interviewed for 2 jobs, but I think it kind of worked out that I didn't get them because of Oliver's GI issues that he's still having. I explained last time that sometimes he gets backed up and he has to stay at home. We have to do colonoscopy style cleanouts. Nobody's happy during that time, but we have to keep him going or he can get sick again. We're trying. I think it's best that I stay at home while I try to get that under control before he's in full day school. Because right now he only goes to school for half a day, and that's perfect because then I can give him medicine before school. Whew. If you've made it through this far, thank you so much for listening. I know I can ramble very long time, but everything is okay. Everybody's healthy. My husband unfortunately has like a very terrible cold that he's had since last Thursday. So he's had it for a full week now. And it's one of those, like, he can't kick this cough that he has. He doesn't have a fever, but he's just miserable. He can't sleep. The drainage from his sinuses is driving him bananas. I've been like knocking on all the wood to try to not get sick or for the boys to get sick, because Oliver's already missed 2 days this year to do a clean out a couple weeks ago. And I don't know if he's going to have to miss school at all for the rest of the year for any other GI issues. Levi's been pretty good about not getting sick, and just keep like crossing all the fingers and toes that everybody stays well. My parents fly in next Friday. We're very excited for Grandma and Grandpa to come and hang out with us, because we were planning on trying to go back home before we moved to Alaska, but a lot of stuff has just gotten thrown at us. My husband's date to move has been moved up 2 months. So instead of like October, it was moved to August, and they want to send him to a 6-week-long school on the East Coast. So our plans to go home have been slowly unraveling the more we get more information about us moving. So for those of you that live close to your family, please don't take it for granted, like having childcare or being close to your parents or your aunts and uncles. Like, I haven't lived close to my parents since 2013. So it's been 5 years we have lived either in Germany or here in Texas, and it's not something I just can't fly home and see them because tickets are so expensive. And then childcare for the kids. Like, sometimes I really wish we could live close by. I do love that we get to, you know, expand our horizons and live in all these different places, experience all these different cultures and areas and weather. So, and sometimes it's not always like a good thing, like here when it's 78 degrees on November 7th. But it's supposed to get cold after today. Today's, I think, the last warm day that we're supposed to have. But I do miss like being close to my family. They are young enough that I don't have to worry about any major health issues with my parents. I'm just hoping that it doesn't change, because my husband still has 10 years left before he's at retirement age for the military. So, and at least for the next 3 years, we're going to be in Alaska, like, again, super far from my family, not something I can just like hop on a plane and go home or drive 4 hours and be at home. So I just keep crossing my fingers that everything will be okay with all of our family members and go from there. So, but that was a very long ramble about, you know, like being close to your family and all the other stuff, because I do miss them a lot. As much as sometimes I can complain about family, and we all can complain about family every once in a while, like, you miss them when you're not close to them because they're your family. You grew up with them for now 32 years. So, but I think I am going to stop right there. If you guys ever want to message me, I'm always looking for like internet friends to talk and hang out with. I'm trying really hard to post more on Instagram, to do like little stories. Follow me, like and subscribe, hit all the buttons that you need to get notifications. And hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. I will try. No, my parents are flying in next Friday. Maybe I can squeeze in like a teeny tiny podcast episode next Friday. So we will see what happens. If not, I will have to wait until after Thanksgiving. But we'll try to do like little stories. We're going to try to do some traveling while my parents are here, like go up to White Sands and all that fun stuff. So I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you're recovering from daylight savings time. That if you do have children, that they aren't waking up like before the sun rises, because now it's rising at like 6:30 in the morning here. I will see you guys later. Keep your needles moving. Keep on crafting. And I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.